Here, at the absolute edge of the world, fire and ice have forged a relentless landscape. Where glowing ancient ice bleeds into black volcanic sand, only the most adaptable survive. Over the next 14 hours, we will follow this solitary scavenger as the subarctic sun arcs across the sky. But when the freezing twilight sets in, how will it endure the night? At 5 o'clock in the morning, the coastal margins of Iceland are locked in a paralyzing, intense cold. Welcome to the jagged frontier of the Vatnajökull Glacier, where a thick morning mist clings to the desolate shoreline. This is an otherworldly, monochromatic realm. Yet, even in this punishing environment, life stubbornly persists. For viewers of any Iceland wildlife doc, the sight is unmistakable. Emerging from the shadows of ancient blue icebergs, black sand beaches become the stage for a creature of unparalleled resilience. The Vatnajökull glacier fox. Wrapped in a thick, insulating coat of pristine white fur, this apex scavenger begins its daily, treacherous patrol. The coastal air is heavy. Guttural exhalations rise from massive harbor seals, hauled out on the freezing dunes, resembling scattered boulders. The morning chorus builds, not with songbirds, but with the haunting, melancholy calls of hooper swans and the sharp, defiant cries of great skuas circling high above. For the solitary fox, dawn is an urgent quest for calories. It meticulously investigates washed-up oceanic kelp, sharing the tide line with resting Atlantic puffins. Every sense must be razor sharp. A single misstep into the paralyzing meltwater could prove fatal. A ghostly phantom slipping between ice and fire. By 8 o'clock, the thick coastal mists dissipate, unveiling a bright, heavily overcast sky. The diffused daylight illuminates the sheer scale of this untamed ecosystem. From towering basalt cliffs, the vast, turbulent ocean reveals its bounty. Nutrient-rich currents draw magnificent leviathans from the churning depths. Energetic pods of white-beaked dolphins break the surface. Breathtaking tail flukes of humpback whales signal their presence in these ancient waters. Ashore, the stark outwash plains stretch endlessly toward distant gray mountains. Crossing this expanse demands incredible endurance. We see the hardy Icelandic horsewild, moving slowly across frosted tundra. These resilient herbivores graze on meager, wind-battered grasses, enduring relentless gales with stoic patience. They are true black sand beach animals, perfectly built for the storm. The Arctic fox, a perpetual nomad, trots alongside intricate networks of braided rivers. The morning winds begin to howl with increasing ferocity. The fox must intercept small runoffs to hydrate before the dry winds take their toll. Survival here is an exhausting test. When sudden, violent gales whip across the tundra, lifting sharp grains of volcanic dirt, there is nowhere to hide. The fox seeks sanctuary behind scattered boulders, curling its heavy tail over its face. A brief dormancy, waiting out the roaring wind. Past 11:30, a surreal tranquility descends. The violent winds exhaust themselves, leaving a flat, midday light. Dark volcanic ash aggressively absorbs the filtered solar radiation. Heat distortions, like fragile mirages, shimmer above the dunes. This is the hour of the slumbering giants. Massive gray seals and harbor seals form dense colonies, resting in deep, heavy sleep to conserve energy. The fox joins this lull. Its winter coat is now a stifling burden. Panting rhythmically upon cooling chunks of stranded ice. Despite the freezing air, the midday sun drives it in violence. Glacial meltwater streams can double in volume in just minutes, forcing the harbor seals and our Arctic fox to constantly recalculate their sanctuary. The extreme ebb tide reveals vast, mirror-like expanses. Moving with a sluggish gait, the fox combs these temporary worlds. Searching tangled seaweed for trapped crustaceans. In this 4K nature documentary cold, the absolute stillness allows a hyper-focused hunt. Listen to the profound silence, the essence of ASMR Nature Sounds Iceland. In a rapidly warming world, the survival of these icebound nomads hangs by a delicate, fraying thread. We are witnessing a fleeting masterpiece of nature. By mid-afternoon, the temporary lull shatters. The turning tide. A rapid drop in temperature. A universal awakening. Daylight fades into warm, dusty tones, and the bitter coastal winds return with renewed vigor. Glacial meltwater streams are now swollen from the midday runoff. They rush with violent urgency toward the sea. Crossing them is perilous. It demands powerful leaps, absolute precision. Along the crashing surf, the energy shifts to a frantic, high-stakes sprint. This is true Arctic fox hunting. Desperately digging at the base of icebergs. Every incoming wave brings potential. A frozen Atlantic cod, a tiny silvery capelin washed ashore. An absolute victory, vital fuel for the internal furnace against the impending freeze. Offshore, the dark waters hide minke whales and elusive harbor porpoises, navigating treacherous swells. Inland, the fox ascends the steep, unstable faces of volcanic ash dunes, fighting sliding gravel. The high vantage points offer strategic views, but expose the predator to the full force of the chilling gales. Shadows stretch ominously, rapidly consuming the mossy plains in a deep, biting cold. Every drawn breath produces a visible cloud of condensation. The hands of time push past 5:15. The final light drains from the sky, ushering in the haunting blue hour. The landscape transitions into frozen stasis. Immense chunks of ice emit a surreal luminescence against the pitch-black sand. For the fox, twilight demands shelter. Hunting in total darkness in these plunging winds is lethal. the predator navigates deep into labyrinthine valleys. It furiously digs into the dry volcanic ash, stamping down a perfectly insulated bed. Curling into a tight sphere, it wraps its multi-layered tail entirely over its face and paws, a biological blanket against the suffocating Arctic night. Resting atop the highest dune, the fox becomes a silent, glowing sentinel under the twilight sky. In the eyes of this solitary scavenger, the history of this brutal, breathtaking theater of existence is perfectly captured. A testament to the resilience of life in any Wildlife of Iceland film. As twilight settles over the black sands of Iceland, the fox finds a fleeting moment of peace. But while this icy coastline goes to sleep, a completely different battle for survival is just beginning in the suffocating humidity of the Iceland. To witness the dawn of the rainforest predators, click the video on your screen now.